morning and greeting to our respected lecturer, Puan Nurhana, and our fellow friends. Today, we would like to present our statistic project entitled A Study on Daily Spending Among UTHM Students. This presentation is prepared for the subject statistic, DAU 10503. Our group consists of 5 members and we will explain our study step by step starting from introduction until the conclusion. These are the members of our group. Each member contribute to different part of this study, such as data collection, data analysis, report writing, and also presentation preparation. This project was complete through good teamwork and cooperation among all members.
Our study focuses on students' daily spending. Managing daily expenses is a major challenge for many university students. Poor financial planning may affect students' lifestyle, emotional well-being, and even academic performance. Daily spending usually depends on income sources and daily needs. For example, food expense, transportation costs, allowance, and family income play an important role in determining how much students spend each day. Therefore, understanding student spending behavior is very important so that students can plan their finances more effectively.
So, I would like to present the introduction of our study. Managing daily expense is a common challenge among university students. Poor financial planning can affect students' lifestyle and also their academic performance. Therefore, understanding students' spending behavior is very important to help them manage their finances better. Daily spending is influenced by several factors such as allowance, food expense, transportation costs, and family income. In this study, we analyze these factors using multiply linear regression. The finding of this study may benefit students and the university in improving financial planning awareness. For this study, we have 3 main objectives. First, we want to identify the factors that influence students' daily spending. Second, we look at the relationship between daily spending and the selected variable. And lastly, we analyze how strong this relationship using multiplied linear regression. Overall, this study helps us understand which factors have the biggest impact on students' daily expenses. This slide explains the variable used in our study. The dependent variable, which is Y, refers to student daily spending. This is the main outcome that we want to study and understand. On the other hand, the independent variable or S include daily transportation expenses, daily food expenses, family income, and monthly allowance. This variable represent the main financial factor that may influence how much students spend every day. We selected this variable because they are closely related to student daily routines and financial situation. By analyzing this variable, we can better understand how each factor contribute to student daily spending. For the methodology, this study applied a quantitative research approach which focuses on numerical data and statistical analysis. Quantitative methods are suitable for this study because our objective is to measure relationship between variables and analyze them using mathematical models. These data were collected using an online questionnaire created through Google Form. This method was chosen because it is cost-effective, easy to distribute, and allows respondents to answer the questions at their convenience. The respondent consists of 60 students from University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. The respondents were selected using convenience sampling, where students who were available and willing to respond and include in the study. The questionnaire was divided into several sections. The first section collected basic demographic information of the respondent. Then, the second section focused on daily spending, including food expenses and transportation costs. And the third section collected information about their family income and monthly allowance. All the responses were recorded in numerical form to ensure consistency and accuracy in analysis. After the data were collected, we will export to the Microsoft Excel for data cleaning or analysis. Any incomplete or inconsistent response were checked before proceeding with analysis. The main statistical technique used in this study was multiple linear regression. This method chosen because it allows us to examine the relationship between one dependent variable and multiple independent variables at the same time. Using Excel data analysis toolpack, we generated regression outputs such as regression coefficient, correlation coefficient, R-square value, unavoidable, and p-values. These outputs help us determine the strength, direction, and significance of the relationship between student daily spending and the selected factor.
On this slide, I will present the data distribution for three main variables, which is a total family income, JPK, daily food expenses, PHM, and allowance, together with their respective frequencies. Firstly, for total family income, JPK, the data is grouped into 5 income range. The income range of 4,361 to 7,021 has the highest frequency with 20 respondents, indicating that most respondents come from family with this income group. In contrast, highest income range such as 7,022 to 9,682 and 9,683 to 12,343 show lower frequencies with 8 and 7 respondents respectively. This suggests that the distribution of total family income is more concentrated in the middle income range rather than at the extreme. Next, for daily food expenses, PHM, the range of 5 to 13 record the highest frequency with 33 respondents, followed by the range of 40 to 22 with 25 respondents. Only a very small number of respondents fall into higher expenditure range, and there are no respondents in the range of 32 to 40. In this indicate that the majority of the respondents spend low to moderate amount on daily food expenses. Lastly, for allowance, the allowance range of 100 to 1,112 show the highest frequency with 56 respondents, meaning that most respondents receive a relative low monthly allowance. As the allowance amount increased, the frequency decreased significantly, with some range recording very few or no respondents. Overall, this shows the highest allowance are less common among the respondents. In conclusion, the data show that the most respondents come from middle-income families, have moderate daily food expenses, and receive relatively low allowance.
For example, the table on the left shows the class interval of daily transportation costs together with their corresponding frequency. From the table, we can observe that the majority of students fall within the 0 to 2 ringgit spending range, with a frequency of 49 students. This indicates that most students spend a relatively small amount of money on a daily basis. Next, we calculate the mean, which represents the average daily spending of the students. The mean was calculated using the formula for group data where the sum of the product of frequency and midpoint is divided by the total number of observations. Based on the calculations shown, the mean daily spending is approximately 1.85. After that, we calculate the standard deviation, which measures how spread out the data is from the mean. The standard deviation value obtained is approximately 2.146. A higher standard deviation indicated that student daily spending varies significantly, meaning not all students spend the same amount each day. In conclusion, the mean and standard deviation together help us understand both the average spending behavior and the variation in students' daily expense.
This frequency table includes the class interval, midpoint, frequency, and the calculated values such as Fs and Fx squared. The midpoint represents the central value of each class interval and is used to approximate the actual data value within that range. The frequency shows the number of the students whose daily spending fall within each class interval. By multiplying the frequency with the midpoint, we obtain Fx, which is used to calculate the mean of the group data. Meanwhile, Fx squared is obtained by squaring the midpoint and multiplying it by the frequency, which is an important step in calculating the variance and standard deviation. The calculation also allows us to measure not only the average daily spending but also how much the spending value vary among students. Organizing the data in this table helps reduce complexity and minimize calculation errors.
In this slide, we explain the model building process used in our study. To analyze the relationship between student daily spending and the selected factor, we apply multiple linear regression. Multiple linear regression is a statistical method that allows us to examine the effect of more than one independent variable on a single dependent variable at the same time. So the regression model used in this study is expressed as y equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x3 plus beta 3 x4. In this equation, y represents the dependent variable, which is the student's daily spending. The constant term b beta naught represents the intercept, which indicates the expected value of daily spending when all independent variables are equal to 0. The variable x1, x2, x3, and x4 represent the independent variable in the study. Each coefficient beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, and beta 4 shows the change in students' daily spending for a 1 unit increase in corresponding independent variable while holding all other variables constant. This means that the model allows us to identify which factors have a stronger or weaker influence on daily spending. The regression analysis was conducted using Microsoft Excel, where the regression tool was used to estimate the coefficient and evaluate the overall model performance.
In this section, I will present the analysis of this study, which applies multiple linear regression to examine the factor influences student daily spending. Based on the regression summary output, the value of the regression coefficient R is equal to 1. This indicates a very strong positive linear relationship between student daily spending and the independent variable study, namely total family income, total allowance, daily transportation expenses, and the daily food expenses. This means that increased factor to associated with an increase in student daily spending. Next, the analysis was conducted at a significant level of alpha is equal to 0.02 to determine whether the independent variable are significantly related to the dependent variable. The hypotheses are stated as follows. Null hypothesis H0 is B beta 1 is equal to beta 2 equal to beta 3 beta 4 and equal to 0, which means none of the independent variables are related to student daily spending. Alternative hypothesis H1 is at least one beta I not equal to 0, which means at least one independent variable is significantly related to student daily spending. Based on the result, the p-value for the coefficient of x3 is 0, which is less than alpha equal to 0.02. Therefore, the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis is accepted. Furthermore, the coefficient of determination R squared is 100%, indicating that 100% of the variation in student daily spending can be explained by the independent variable, namely S1, S2, S3, and S4. This suggests that the regression model used in this study is extremely strong and highly appropriate. Referring to another table, the degrees of the freedom for regression are equal to the number of the independent variable, which is 4. The degrees of the freedom for the residual calculated using the formula n minus x plus 1 with n equal to 16, observation and x equal to 4, independent variable, the residual degrees of freedom are 55, resulting in a total degrees of freedom of 59. The F statistic is calculated using the formula MSR divided by MSE. Based on the calculation, the value of 4 equal to 3.549 times 10 power of 32, which is extremely large. This indicated that the regression model is statistically significant. Overall, further supporting the rejection of the null hypothesis.
This slide shows the other analysis from our regression result. First, the regression statistic explains the strength of the relationship between the dependent and independent variable and how much variation is explained by the model. Next, the ANOVA table is used to test whether the overall regression model is statistically significant. A significance F value of less than 0.05 indicated that the model is significant. Lastly, the coefficient table shows the effect and significance of each independent variable. A variable is significant if the p-value is less than 0.05 and the confidence interval does not include 0. Overall, this analysis helps us to evaluate the reliability of the regression model.
In conclusion, this study successfully analyzed students' daily spending pattern using multiple linear regression. The results show that daily food expenses, transportation costs, family income, and monthly allowance all contribute to students' daily spending. The hypothesis test indicates that at least one independent variable affects daily spending. Although some variables show weaker effects individually, the overall model demonstrates that multiple variables collectively influence student spending behavior. This study highlights the importance of effective financial management among students. The findings provide useful insight for students, institutions, and policymakers to better understand student financial challenge. Lastly, this study proved that multiple linear regression is an effective tool for analyzing real-world financial data. And that's all for our presentation about this case. Thank you.